Hello everybody. Welcome back to ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel. Today, we will learn about the intriguing possibility that Nina Reeves could uncover Willow Tate's shocking scheme involving little Daisy Gilmore, potentially leading to heartbreak and confrontation in Port Charles. In the ever-twisting world of General Hospital, fans are buzzing with anticipation over whether Nina Reeves will stumble upon the dark secret Willow Tate is harboring. This isn't just any ordinary plot twist. It revolves around Willow's calculated efforts to torment Sasha Gilmore Corbin, using poor Daisy as an unwitting pawn in her revenge game. Picture this: Nina, ever the attentive mother figure despite their complicated history, has been picking up on subtle inconsistencies in Willow's behavior. Adding a fresh layer to the drama, imagine Nina reflecting on their shared past, where Willow's health struggles once brought them closer, only to now sense a growing distance fueled by secrets. In a recent episode aired on July 8th, Willow's tardiness to a casual poolside meetup raised Nina's eyebrows. She claimed traffic woes via text, but Nina, having navigated the same routes without a hitch, couldn't shake off the doubt. To deepen the intrigue, let's invent a new element. Perhaps Nina noticed Willow's distracted demeanor upon arrival, her eyes darting as if scanning for hidden threats, hinting at the paranoia brewing beneath her composed exterior. Delving further, Willow's web of deception extends beyond mere excuses. She fibbed about losing track of time during a phone chat with Drew Kane, but such slips might not stay hidden for long in the close-knit circles of Port Charles. Creatively expanding on this, envision Willow juggling her double life, perhaps sneaking glances at a secretive app on her phone that tracks Sasha's movements, all while pretending to be the picture of normalcy. The more Willow piles on these fabrications to Nina, the more evident it becomes that something sinister is afoot. Nina's heightened vigilance stems from her deep concern for Willow's well-being, especially after the emotional roller coaster of their mother-daughter reconciliation. New details could include Nina confiding in a trusted friend like Ava Jerome about her nagging suspicions, describing how Willow's once open expressions now seem guarded, as if she's carrying the weight of unspoken burdens. If Willow continues vanishing at odd hours and offering excuses as thin as tissue paper, Nina's maternal instincts could kick into overdrive, prompting her to dig deeper. Of course, devoted GH viewers are already in the know about Willow's true agenda. She's the shadowy figure slipping into Daisy's room, orchestrating a gaslighting campaign against Sasha. This vendetta isn't random. It's rooted in Willow's fury over Sasha's perceived betrayal and Michael Corinthus's firm stance in keeping Willow away from their children, Wiley and Amelia. To enrich this narrative, let's add an inventive twist. Perhaps Willow's scheme involves planting subtle, psychologically damaging items in Daisy's space, like altered photos or eerie notes that echo Sasha's past traumas, amplifying her guilt and instability. In the soap opera tradition, such explosive secrets can't remain buried forever, particularly ones as morally murky as this. Nina could very well be the first to piece it together, her sharp intuition cutting through the lies like a knife. Analyzing this section, the emotional stakes are sky-high. Willow's actions paint her as a fallen hero, once admired for her resilience against illness, now descending into obsession, which could alienate even her staunchest supporters. Should Nina's suspicions escalate, she might take matters into her own hands by tailing Willow discreetly, perhaps enlisting the help of a private investigator or simply relying on her own resourceful nature honed from years in the cutthroat world of Crimson magazine. The climax could unfold in a tense scene where Nina witnesses Willow's intrusion firsthand, her heart sinking as the truth unravels. When cornered, Willow might pour out her confessions in a flood of tears, desperately pleading for Nina's understanding and alliance, framing her actions as a desperate mother's cry for justice against those who tore her family apart. However, Nina's moral compass would likely rebel against such cruelty. Expanding creatively, imagine Nina recalling Sasha's harrowing history of loss and addiction, from the death of her baby Liam to her struggles with substance abuse, making Willow's torment feel like kicking someone already down. This revelation could shatter Nina's hopes for Willow's redemption, forcing her to confront the painful reality that her daughter figure has veered dangerously off course. Beyond the immediate horror, Nina would undoubtedly fret over the long-term repercussions on Willow's fragile chance to reunite with her kids. Michael's protective barriers might solidify into impenetrable walls if this scandal erupts, painting Willow as unstable and unfit. Adding new depth, Perhaps Nina envisions a courtroom battle where Willow's deeds become ammunition for custody denials, a nightmare scenario that keeps her up at night. Moreover, Nina might recognize the signs of a deeper mental health crisis in Willow. Her revenge plot screams of unchecked rage and delusion, possibly exacerbated by untreated trauma from her cancer battle and family upheavals. In a detailed analysis, this spiral highlights GH's exploration of mental health themes, showing how isolation and betrayal can push even the strongest characters to extremes. Nina could advocate for professional intervention, like therapy sessions with experts in Port Charles, aiming to steer Willow back to stability before it's too late. Yet, the path forward is fraught with risks. If Nina opts to intervene quietly, shielding Willow by keeping Sasha in the dark, she might unwittingly cross ethical lines that fracture her budding friendship with Sasha forever. Let's invent a poignant element. Envision a scenario where Sasha overhears a hushed conversation between Nina and Willow, leading to feelings of betrayal that echo Sasha's past abandonments, potentially driving her back to old coping mechanisms. This could irreparably damage the trust they've built, especially after Nina's role in supporting Sasha through her darkest days. In wrapping up this analysis, the storyline underscores the delicate balance of loyalty in Port Charles. Nina's choice could either mend or destroy multiple relationships, leaving fans on the edge of their seats for what's next. We will learn about the explosive twists and emotional upheavals awaiting us in the week of July 14, 2025, where heartbreak, confessions, and high-stakes confrontations promise to keep Port Charles on edge. Kicking off the week's drama in General Hospital, viewers are in for a roller coaster as Carly Spencer grapples with devastating news that leaves her shattered, while Nina Reeves must confront the fallout from her manipulative maneuvers. Meanwhile, young Emma Scorpio Drake steps into the spotlight with a surprising revelation that could shift family dynamics. To set the stage, let's dive into the somber event of Natalia Ramirez's memorial service, a gathering bound to stir up tensions in unexpected ways. Marco Rios, ever the devoted figure in Natalia's circle, will undoubtedly be present, paying his respects amid the grief. Adding an intriguing layer, it's highly likely that the cunning Jen Sidwell will make an appearance too, despite the deep-seated animosity that simmered between him and Natalia. Inventing a fresh element here, picture Sidwell arriving with a bouquet of white lily, symbols of purity that ironically mask his ulterior motives as he maintains a facade of civility to further his plot against Sonny Corinthos. In a detailed analysis of this section, the memorial underscores GH's knack for blending mourning with machinations. Sidwell's presence isn't just about optics, but a calculated move to observe his enemies, potentially planting seeds for future betrayals that heighten the soap's signature blend of sorrow and suspense. Building on that chaos, recall how Curtis Ashford was coerced into publishing an inflammatory headline in his media outlet, boldly questioning whether Sonny Corinthos had a hand in Natalia's untimely demise. This scandalous piece could ignite fireworks at the service, as Sonny, driven by a mix of guilt and defiance, insists on attending to bid his farewell. Creatively rephrasing and expanding, envision the memorial unfolding in a lavish Port Charles chapel adorned with flickering candles and somber floral arrangements, where whispers of accusation echo through the pews, turning a moment of remembrance into a powder keg. New details might include Sonny arriving late, his face etched with regret from past conflicts, only to face glaring stares from attendees who devoured Curtis's article. Analyzing this deeply, the headline's ripple effects highlight themes of media influence and mobster vulnerability in GH, showing how one story can escalate personal vendettas into public spectacles, forcing characters like Sonny to navigate grief under a microscope of suspicion. Shifting gears to family matters, Michael Corinthos takes center stage as he briefs both Sonny and Carly on the latest developments involving little Daisy Gilmore Corinthos. As he unpacks the turmoil surrounding Sasha Gilmore Corbin, Carly seizes the moment to challenge her former spouse head-on, demanding to know if Sonny's dangerous lifestyle is putting innocent Daisy at risk. To lengthen and innovate, let's add a vivid scene where Michael, pacing in the Corinthos' living room with photos of Daisy in hand, paints a picture of Sasha's unraveling state, perhaps revealing hidden security footage that hints at lurking threats. Carly's confrontation could escalate with her slamming a fist on the table, her voice trembling as she recalls past losses tied to Sonny's world. In a thorough analysis, this exchange delves into the enduring conflict between love and peril in Port Charles families, illustrating how parental instincts clash with the mob's shadow. potentially foreshadowing Carly's heartbreak as she weighs protecting her loved ones against old affections. The emotional toll intensifies later in the week when Carly finds herself utterly heartbroken, perhaps from revelations that strike at the heart of her relationships. While Sonny is cornered into considering a profound sacrifice to safeguard those he cares about. Creatively expanding, imagine Carly retreating to the Quartermain Mansion's garden, tears streaming as she processes betrayal or loss, with flashbacks to happier times amplifying her pain. Sonny's dilemma might involve stepping back from certain alliances, like a risky business deal, to ensure Daisy's safety. Adding new elements, Sonny could confide in Jason Morgan about this crossroads, weighing the cost of vulnerability against his ironclad reputation. Analyzing this segment, it captures GH's exploration of redemption and sacrifice, where characters like Sonny evolve from untouchable figures to flawed humans, creating poignant drama that resonates with viewers' own struggles with tough choices. Turning to farewells and reckonings, Sasha Gilmore Corbin prepares to bid adieu to Nina before departing Port Charles, a move laden with unspoken regrets and lingering bonds. However, as the week unfolds, Nina is thrust into the harsh light of accountability for her deceptive plot, facing repercussions that could dismantle her carefully constructed life. Rephrasing with flair, envision Sasha's goodbye scene at Nina's Crimson office, surrounded by glossy magazines that once symbolized their shared ambitions, now tainted by betrayal. Nina's consequences might manifest in a heated confrontation where evidence of her perhaps forged documents or intercepted calls comes to light. Inventing depth, Sasha could leave behind a heartfelt letter detailing her pain, urging Nina to seek change. In detailed analysis, this arc emphasizes themes of forgiveness and fallout, showcasing how GH weaves personal growth through pain, with Nina's journey mirroring real-life reckonings that force self-reflection amid relational ruins. On a different note, Willow Tate finds solace in reconnecting with the insightful Isaiah Gannon, building on their prior encounter where he offered sage advice. This time, their conversation turns wry as Willow opens up about her woes, pointedly blaming Michael for pushing her to desperate measures. To creatively enhance, picture them meeting in a quiet corner of General Hospital's courtyard, with Isaiah's calm demeanor contrasting Willow's simmering anger, perhaps sharing a cup of herbal tea symbolizing attempted healing. New details could include Willow flashing back to pivotal arguments with Michael, her words laced with bitterness over lost time with her children. Analyzing thoroughly, this interaction spotlights mental health and blame in relationships, a GH staple that humanizes Willow's descent, inviting empathy while critiquing how unresolved conflicts spiral into larger crises. Elsewhere, Marco Rios unleashes a tirade against Sonny to Alexis Davis, but she swiftly leaps to the mobster's defense, showcasing her unwavering loyalty. Rephrasing inventively, imagine this rant occurring over coffee at Kelly's diner, with Marco gesturing wildly about Sonny's alleged sins, only for Alexis to counter with pointed anecdotes from their shared history. Adding invention, Alexis might pull out her phone to show exonerating messages, turning the tables. In analysis, this defends GH's portrayal of complex allegiances, where past enmities evolve into protections, enriching the narrative with layers of redemption. Anna Devane shares a candid heart-to-heart with Felicia Scorpio, paving the way for Anna to pose probing questions to Carly that could unearth buried truths. Creatively, their talk might happen during a walk along the waterfront, with waves crashing as metaphors for turmoil. New element, Felicia offers a keepsake from their adventures, symbolizing solidarity. Analysis, this builds suspense through female bonds, AGH strength and driving plot revelations. Emma Scorpio Drake delivers a confession that shakes her circle, while Lucas Jones spirals into a full-blown panic, perhaps over family secrets. Trina Robinson confides in Jocelyn Jacks about her dilemmas, possibly involving Kai Taylor, questioning if Joss will support or sway her. Finally, Stella Henry hits a wall when Curtis stonewalls her inquiries about Portia Robinson, hinting at hidden tensions. Next, we will learn about the chilling prospect of Willow Tate unleashing a vengeful storm on Drew Kane, potentially escalating their fractured romance into a life-threatening showdown in the heart of Port Charles. In the gripping saga of General Hospital, whispers of retribution are swirling around Willow Tate, who might soon turn her growing fury toward Drew Kane, her current fiancé, placing him in peril as her illusions shatter. This isn't merely a lover's quarrel, it's a brewing catastrophe born from betrayal and broken trust. Willow's journey with Drew has often seen her in a submissive role, echoing the shadows of her past entrapment in the Dawn of Day cult, where obedience was ingrained. Yet, Drew's subtle puppeteering has pushed her down misguided paths, but lately, she's awakening to her own agency, though it's manifesting in increasingly erratic and destructive ways. To creatively expand this, imagine Willow poring over old journal entries from her cult days in a dimly lit attic, drawing parallels to how Drew's influence mirrors Shiloh's control, fueling her resolve to break free. Adding a new inventive element, perhaps she discovers a hidden recording of Drew's manipulative pep talks, replaying them obsessively as her mindset shifts from devotion to disdain. In a detailed analysis of this section, GH masterfully explores themes of autonomy and manipulation, transforming Willow from a passive victim into an unpredictable force, which amplifies the tension and sets the stage for her character's dark evolution. The catalyst for this turmoil traces back to Willow's heartbreaking loss of custody over her children, Wiley and Amelia, which has sent her spiraling into a vortex of despair and desperation. Her actions have grown audaciously unhinged, culminating in the shocking revelation that she's the one covertly invading little Daisy Gilmore's space and psychologically tormenting Sasha Gilmore Corbin. Rephrasing with fresh vigor, picture Willow donning disguises under the cover of night, slipping into the Gilmore residence to rearrange toys or leave cryptic messages that prey on Sasha's vulnerabilities, all while justifying it as payback for perceived slights. If she's willing to inflict such cruelty on Sasha and her ex-husband Michael Corinthos, the question looms, what horrors await Drew when their idyllic facade crumbles? Willow's capacity for darkness is undeniable, hinting that Drew could find himself ensnared in a web of danger far beyond emotional fallout. Inventing an additional layer, envision Drew receiving anonymous threats via burner phones, like eerie voicemails echoing Willow's voice distorted, planting seeds of paranoia in his daily life. Analyzing this deeply, the storyline delves into the psychology of revenge, illustrating how GH uses personal loss to propel characters into moral gray areas, making Willow's arc a cautionary tale of how unchecked grief can morph into menace. Drew's own skeletons in the closet only fan the flames, as he's harbored damning secrets that could ignite Willow's wrath. Chief among them is his repeated clandestine encounters with Nina Reeves, conducted slyly behind Willow's back, betraying the very foundation of their bond. GH enthusiasts have witnessed Drew's deceit extend to manipulating young Wiley Corinthos, weaving lies to suit his agenda. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Other transgressions include his underhanded bribe to a German clinic staffer, ensuring Willow was denied access and falsely led to believe Michael had shut her out entirely. To lengthen and innovate, let's add a scene where Drew, in a moment of overconfidence, confides in a shady associate about these ploys over whiskey at the Metro Court, unaware that a eavesdropping waiter might tip off Willow later. New details could involve Willow stumbling upon incriminating emails on Drew's laptop, detailing the bribe with timestamps that align with her most vulnerable moments during treatment abroad. In a thorough analysis, these revelations underscore GH's penchant for layered betrayals, where Drew's charm masks a calculating core, building toward a confrontation that exposes the fragility of trust in Port Charles relationships. As Willow's persona undergoes this startling metamorphosis, the narrative demands a climax far grander than a mere parting of ways. A heated argument and swift breakup won't suffice for the buildup of deceit. She's latched onto Drew as her anchor amid chaos, viewing him as the last bastion of stability in her crumbling world. But when that illusion fractures, the repercussions could be cataclysmic. Creatively reimagining, suppose Willow experiences a pivotal aha moment during a stormy evening walk, piecing together clues like mismatched alibis and suspicious texts, her face illuminated by lightning as realization dawns. This snapping point might propel her into a meticulously planned vendetta, one that catches Drew off guard with its ferocity. Adding invention, perhaps she enlists an unlikely ally from her cult pasta reform member who provides tips on psychological warfare, turning her revenge into a sophisticated operation. Analyzing this segment, it highlights GH's evolution of female characters from damsels to avengers, creating high-stakes drama that questions the boundaries of forgiveness and the cost of deception in intimate bonds. Ultimately, Willow will confront the harsh truth that she sacrificed her marriage, her family, and her sanity for a duplicitous charmer who's toyed with her affections repeatedly. This epiphany is poised to unleash an volcanic outburst, potentially birthing a revenge scheme that blindsides Drew and escalates to threats against his well-being. Does Willow truly endanger Drew's life, or will her rage manifest in subtler, yet equally devastating, forms? ABC General Hospital spoilers suggest her downward trajectory will intensify, with more alarming developments on the horizon for Drew. To creatively extend, imagine Drew noticing subtle sabotages, like tampered brakes on his car or forged documents implicating him in scandals, all tracing back to Willow's hidden hand. New elements might include Willow consulting a shadowy figure in the underworld for protection advice, blurring lines between victim and villain. In detailed analysis, this foreshadows GH's exploration of justice versus vigilantism, where Willow's actions challenge viewers to ponder if redemption is possible after such a fall, keeping the soap's audience hooked on the edge of moral ambiguity.